right. Are you ready for bed? Yeah? Well, you're getting a little older now, and yeah, I don't tuck you in like I used to, but doesn't mean I still don't care, and I want to hear about how your day's going, your life's going. What's going on these days? How's school? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, your phone, I know. I mean, it's so funny. I think your mom and I are in a weird place. We are the last cusp of a generation that grew up before the internet. You know, when I was a kid. You want some water? You can have a sip. Here. There you go. Your water's full? Okay, good. When, when I was a kid, we didn't have the internet. I used to have, like, I think at one time I had like 20 phone numbers memorized. I know. 20. I'm not even kidding. Maybe more. Because you had to. And then, of course, the advent of smartphones and the internet and everything else. It's weird. It's like we are simultaneously way more productive in the sense of having all this information at our fingertips, right? What I found personally, is what I have to do is turn everything off when I want to be focused and productive. And there's been a lot of studies done, like I forget the exact ratio, but like most people are checking their phones like at least every 15 minutes. And oftentimes it's even more than that, like every 2 minutes or 3 minutes. And, if I'm in the middle of, if I'm editing a project, and I leave my Discord open on my computer, and I'm sitting there editing, and I get a ping on my Discord, and I go and I check it. Maybe it only takes me 30 seconds, maybe a minute. Maybe I respond, maybe I don't. And then I gotta come back to my project. And what I find is that I'm losing at least like 5 to 7 minutes every time I stop and pick up my phone, or I check on like an email or something that comes in, right? And I think that ability to or just the practice, not the ability, but the practice of turning, of not having a phone next to you, not having a text or a notification, an Instagram like, a DM, something where, your impulse is to stop and look at it, right? So, what I've started doing, and maybe you can try this yourself and see if it helps you with your homework or your studying, is I try to do 45 at minimum. Okay, my target is 45 minutes of no distraction. So I turn off my phone, put it on focus. I oftentimes just keep it in my pocket so I don't even see it, because it's tempting to pick up your phone. And for me, I like playing chess too, right? And that's even a way worse distraction. So what I'll do is I'll do like 45 minutes of work where I have to just focus. And sometimes I do even more than 45 minutes. Sometimes I can really get dialed in for like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. But then I usually don't go 2 hours, honestly. Let's just stick with the 45 minutes. When you're focusing on your studies, your homework, put in 45 minutes of undistracted attention. And I think you're going to find your productivity skyrocket. Yeah. Well, yeah, our modern age, I'll tell you, it's been wild growing up in it, you know. And that's when I was talking to your mom the other night, and I remember this, my first experience with, like, the wonder of having a smartphone as I was out in Venice Beach, and I think I was in my late 20s, mid to late 20s, and I had gotten a Motorola Razr, I think it was called. It was a sliding phone that it was called a QWERTY keyboard. So there was an actual there were actual buttons you could tap, and I kind of like remember. Do you remember Blackberries? So Blackberries, well, they were huge, and then they're kind of gone, but they were like the first smartphone. They called them crackberries, actually. That was like their nickname because people were like, and they were basic, but like people were like addicted to their crackberry, a little keyboard on the phone. Now, of course, everything's just, a screen. That's, iPhones, Apple's contribution to the smartphone world. But I remember I was out there and I got a notification from my my agent at the time, back when I was, back when Daddy was trying to be an actor, and I got an audition, and I remember it was like 7 o'clock at night, and I was out at this bar. It's called, I think it might still be there. It's called the Venice Whaler. Okay, so I was out there with some buddies having a beer, and I get a notification that I have an audition the next day. And I open my phone, and I was able to look at the email, and I was even able, and this is crazy, I was even able to go onto their website on my phone, Casting Networks, and accept the audition. Oh, I know. At the time, this blew my mind. I was like, I remember specifically sitting there telling my friends, like, can you believe what I just did? I'm out here with you, away from my computer, and I responded to an email and confirmed an audition and did all of this from my phone. And I remember just thinking how wild that was. And, and since then, and, the 10 or 12 years since then or whatever, like, we have the amount of technology available to us now is just astounding. Like, that, I'm sure in no way, shape, or form occurs to you as interesting, unique, or memorable. But I remember for me, it was just like this revelation, But it's so new, that ability, the whole connected world where, I don't know about you, but I cannot remember the last time I left the house without my phone. You know what I mean? And in fact, I think the last time I left my house without my phone, I kind of freaked out. I was like, I kind of panicked, because, I was worried about, like, what if your mom needs to get a hold of me, or what if, who knows, right? It doesn't matter. The point is, I found myself, like, really worried that my phone was turned off or not on me, So, it's just wild how far we've come. Because when I was your age, did I have a cell phone? No, I didn't. I didn't have my I didn't have my first cell phone until I was wasn't even like a cool phone. It was an old, old, what do they call those? I think it was a Nokia, and it was just like a really basic. And it was one of the Nokias. You ever watched God, what's the movie? Not is it Love Actually? You know the Christmas movie we watch sometimes, Love Actually. Liam Neeson and yeah, Hugh Grant and yeah, it's great, right? Really cute movie. But one of the ladies, the American gal, she has that same smartphone. Remember that really obnoxious ring? It was anyway, I had that phone. And I remember even back then being like, this is a really annoying ring. But that was my first cell phone, you know? I mean, I went to college for 2 years, at least a year, without a cell phone, driving to and from, commuting, and I was like 17, you know? Because, yeah, I did well, this is a discussion we can have. I need to find out what the laws are out here in California. But when I was a kid, they had this thing called the post-secondary enrollment option, PSEO, which later became known as Running Start. And what that was I don't know if they're still doing it. It's about time to start looking into it. What they would do is you could go to junior college, like your local community college, and you would split your day. You'd go in the morning, you'd go to high school, and then in the afternoon you could like leave at lunch and then drive to the local community college where I was. It was a place called Sinclair. Sinclair Community College was an amazing community college, by the way. Shout out to Sinclair in little Dayton, Ohio. But great school. And so my brother asked his counselors, like, well, do I have to go to high school? I mean, based on what I'm looking at, it appears I can get all of my high school GED requirements, but just go to college full time. And the counselor, I forget his name, but he hemmed and hawed. He's like, you're gonna miss out on the important high school experience and the social blah 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 of high school. And my brother was like, is that it? Cool. Peace. So he was actually the first, I believe, he was the first kid in the state of Ohio. Who knows? Possibly the nation. I literally don't know. It's pretty groundbreaking to take advantage of this and go to college full-time his junior and senior year. And even though, your uncle he's way more like a sciencey math, computer science kind of a guy than I am. What I'm saying is I'm more of an introvert. But I saw his life and I was like, yeah, can I not go to high school? Because if we're being honest, high school's kind of lame. And I felt like it's kind of like a lot of kind of glorified babysitting. And I was like, I'm going to do the same thing my brother did. So I went to college full time my junior and senior year. I think I was the third or the fourth kid in the state. I mean, I don't really have any way of knowing that for sure, but I like to think that we were trendsetters. But I loved going to college full time my junior and senior year. And the amazing teachers. I mean, it's what changed my life, because I was not, I had it set that I was going to go to NYU, the Tisch School of the Arts and study theater and dance, or Chicago, go to DePaul, maybe USC, some kind of famous film school, right? And I think I told you this, I'd gotten accepted into NYU, and I was planning on heading out to New York, and then right before I was going to move out, your grandma and grandpa called me and they said, "We're really sorry, honey, but we just can't afford this much debt." And so that, of course, led me to reevaluating my life's trajectory in a way. So, I had a professor in college, and she had really recommended UW, University of Washington, having a great theater program. And honestly, it hadn't been on my radar. But after getting, financially rejected from my folks, which again, I was bummed, but I totally understood. Even as a transfer student, I still was going to have to attend NYU for 3 years, not 4 years, but 3 years. And back then, the tuition was only like 36 grand a year. Now it's like 54 or more, I forget. But I was still going to graduate, theoretically, college with over $100,000 in debt. You know what I'm saying? And that is just crippling. And I was going to have a Bachelor of Fine Arts in theater for $100,000. Yeah. Yeah. So, I'm very glad my life didn't go that way. I don't know. Well, who knows? That's the other thing, my friend. My beautiful. Is that we just don't know. We don't know where our decisions are going to take us. You're going to be making these decisions in your life coming up. You're going to have it may occur to you at the time as like a pivotal, seminal moment, but it may not until hindsight. When you look back on that moment, it's like, well, from this point on, I went this way instead of this way. And you'll never know the counterfactual. Right? You'll never know. Who knows if I had gone to NYU? I'm guessing I never would have met your mother. Do you know what I mean? Who knows? Maybe I would have made it out to LA. Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? And, yeah. Why am I talking about that? You know me. Dad's a rambler. But yeah, I'm just thinking about how my life was, and it was, similar to yours in many ways, and also very different. And one trap I want to be mindful of is the nostalgia trap. And of course, the nostalgia trap is you look back and everything was better when you were a kid. And I know for a fact you will be saying the same thing to your kids at some point. And you're going to have the same feelings of like, oh man, this new generation, what are they? These poor kids today, they don't have the things that I had, And I just know how that cycle is never ending. I saw a great, somebody put together a compilation of newspaper articles going back to like the 1860s. And it's just a compilation of newspaper articles saying, let me tell you about these new kids today. They just don't know the value of hard work. This is like 1870s. These new kids today, they're spoiled. They're spoiled by all this fan-schmangled technology. They got automobiles now. We used to have horses and buggies. The point is, and this happens every single generation. Like, dun, 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 dun. The previous generation always goes, oh, we were so much better. We were noble. Look, the human trap for nostalgia is very powerful. So, I don't know if I had it better than you or worse than you. It was different. It was different than you, that's for sure. Some things were cooler and better. Like, I probably spent more time outside, you know? But again, we grew up in, like, small town Dayton, Ohio. Like, you know, growing up on base housing, your uncle and me had creeks and railroad tracks and golf courses and lakes to explore, and so we spent a lot of time outside, but it's different for you guys. And on the one hand, while you may say, well, it's way better to be outside, maybe, I mean, certainly, you know, outside play is very important, but I think you're pretty active, you know, sports, rock climbing, things you enjoy doing. And but I remember I was in the 3rd grade, and my friend, let's just call him a loose acquaintance, got a Nintendo, like the original Nintendo, those little square controllers, you know. And I would go over to his house just to play on his Nintendo. I really didn't care for his company. He was okay, but I wanted to play on the computer, you know? Like, that was exciting. So, you know, I didn't have access to, like, the mind-bending games that you all have today. And I completely understand how fun they are. Like, let's be honest, they're really fun games. But that adds a layer that we have to put on top, which is the discipline. So, getting back, you know, I think that you're living, and I genuinely believe this, okay? I believe that you are, and me, that we are living in the coolest time in the history of the world. I mean that. I think our current lives are fascinating, and I wouldn't want to trade it and go back in time to another era. I mean, it'd be fascinating too, but I truly believe that we live in the most awesome time period ever in history. But with that comes some pitfalls. And the pitfalls are distractions, because it's so easy now to get distracted, much easier than when I was a kid. And you just have to be mindful of that. So, you know, like I said, when you're trying to get work done, whether it be a homework, a project, anything you're working on, block out 45 minutes. I'm 99.999% sure that there is no emergency too great from one of your friends or somebody else that it can't wait for 45 minutes. They'll be okay. You'll get back to them when you're ready. And after you've done your 45 minutes of focused work, then take 10-15 minutes. Check your phone, respond to some text, a DM, an email, and then when you're ready, turn your phone back off and give yourself 45 minutes of focused work. And I'll tell you what, if you can do that, you are going to be so far ahead of the game compared to your friends. Yeah, okay. Alright, well, as always, thanks for wanting to talk to your dad, you know. It may not be as cool as I once was, but know that your mom and I love you to the ends of the world and back. You know that, right? That we just love you. We love you so much. And we're so proud of you. We're so freaking proud of you. You are just like amazing to us. Okay? Okay. Well, get some rest. And I can't wait to hear about your day tomorrow. Okay? Okay, we'll see you in the morning. You want coffee? Maybe? Well, if you want some coffee.